If you've been wondering how to get back on track in midlife or why your routine stops sticking, the issue may not be discipline. It may be the systems you once relied on no longer match the life you're living now. Maybe this has happened to you. You reorganize your planner. You reset your workout schedule. You rebuild your routines that once felt so natural, and nothing seems to work. Last week, Tracy shared such beautiful insight about getting organized without feeling behind. What I loved about that conversation is how it takes the guilt out of organization. Because so many of us assume that when their systems fall apart, it means that you've somehow failed. But there's another layer to this, especially in midlife. Even when we organize well, sometimes the systems still don't stick. And that's the pattern I want to explore today. If you've been telling yourself it's fine, but deep down you know something needs to change, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Pursue Your Spark podcast, and I'm your host, Heike Yates. This is a show for the in-between seasons of midlife, where we uncover the habits and comfort zones keeping you stuck and move you towards strength and action without forcing a reinvention. When organizing doesn't seem to solve the deeper issue, what's actually happening? In midlife, I often see women fall into what I think of as the reorganization loop. And I'm definitely sometimes in one of those organization or reorganization loops as well. I feel when I organize my house or our house and everything in its place, I'm in control of what's happening around me. So I get into those loops as well, and I organize everything in its place. I put things back, I fold things so they're really looking organized. But there's oftentimes a deeper issue that I know I need to address, and you may feel the same thing or the same way. When something feels off in life, the first instinct is to fix the system, like reorganizing my house. Okay, I need a better system, so I find things easier and they're in the right place whenever I need them. And I can control that little part of my life. We assume that a better structure will solve the problem. When I reorganize my meal planning, or you think, okay, if I reorganize meal planning, if I just shop better, I chop more, I have more Tupperware to put or glassware to put my meals or my food in, I may lose the weight that I've been wanting to lose. I may stop snacking more because I organize it better. So we start reorganizing parts of our life, hoping things will finally click again. And when one thing comes to mind too is the morning routine. What is your morning routine? Are you getting up, grabbing your coffee and run out the door to catch the train or go to work? Are you feeding your children and forget to eat breakfast yourself? Are you skipping your morning workout because you think, I can't get up half an hour earlier? So all these reorganization loops are really holding us back. When that momentum drops, we look for something we can control. Like my example with when I organize my house, I feel in control. And changing the system also feels productive. I love being productive. I pride myself on productivity. I get so much stuff done, and maybe you can relate to that as well. And it gives us the hope that what we're planning for the future will finally stick. Our workout routines will stick. Our meal planning will be brilliant. Our morning routine will be easy peasy. And as we talked last week with Tracy about decluttering spaces, now it's springtime here in Washington. If I declutter my closet, I take out all the things that don't fit anymore, have stains on, are not something I bought it, but I don't wear. It's time to get rid of all these things. So purge the closet. It makes us feel that we're in control, that we are productive, And by changing the system, we feel that whatever we are doing finally sticks. And that is important to know because reorganization gives us the feeling that we're fixing something, whatever that something may be. As much as we're reorganizing everything in our lives and we reorganize again over and over, the goal usually isn't organization. The goal, it seems underlying, is really restoring momentum. We lost the momentum we had gained before. And I hear it from so many of my clients that say, I just lost momentum. I don't know. I'm just not as motivated. And I always have been so consistent. It's time to restore momentum. We want to feel that our workouts start happening naturally again, like they did before, a year ago, 6 months ago. And we're looking to have our routines feel easier, not so to struggle as much as, oh my God, now I got to lift weights. I got to organize the weights. And there's this organization thing. If I organize my weights better, then I will much more be likely to work out. But also what oftentimes is the key is that we want the day to flow better and not as bumpy and not as disruptive. This is why building consistency in midlife can sometimes feel harder than it used to be. And that's okay. It's another milestone that we're stuck in, but we can move beyond that by creating or restoring momentum. When our systems keep falling apart, we're starting to assume the problem is disciplined. And I hear it over and over. Heike, I'm just not disciplined. I don't know what happened. I did all of this last year, no problem. And now it's not working. But when you think about it really, and I encourage you to really think about this while you're listening to this episode, often the real issue is that life has changed. The systems no longer fits the season of life we're in. Maybe for you, the listener, you may have started being in menopause. You're beaten down by all the side effects. You're tired. You're not sleeping well. Your body feels icky and achy and heavy. And before that, you may have really hit workouts, so high intensity workouts, and loved them. And now just thinking about them makes you just want to fall over. And just, the way I think about it is like, oh my God, I fall over and just lay down and say, no, I can't do it. But it's true. When we think about what has worked before, there's a reason why things no longer work. The system isn't wrong. It's just no longer aligned with what you need now. Over time, that reorganization loop starts creating a different kind of problem. It stops feeling organized and it starts feeling like you're starting over. How many times have I heard, Heike, I did this program and it worked really great, but you couldn't consistently stick with it. Oh, let's do this program again because it worked the first time. And then we're disappointed that it didn't work the second time. And it's no wonder. It's not you, or you don't have to feel guilty about it. It is something that has changed in your life, in your needs, in your environment. That's why the pattern is shifting. Let me give you an example of how this might look like. Maybe you realize your workouts haven't been happening the way it used to. So you sit down one evening and reorganize your whole schedule. You block out workout times, adjust your mornings, maybe even move a few things around so it finally looks doable again. For a few days, it feels great. The plan's clear, you feel motivated, stuff gets done. But then a busy week hits. Something slips, and suddenly you're not following the schedule again. And that's the moment when many women start thinking, okay, I just need a better system. But when we stay in that reorganization loop for a while, something else starts happening. It stops being about clutter or organization because the real cost isn't the clutter and the effort to reorganize over and over. The real cost is erosion of self-trust. And I talk about self-trust a lot these days because I feel that momentum and moving forward go hand in hand with self-trust or the erosion of our self-trust. Every restart quietly chips away at your confidence. Because how do you feel when every time you restart or you feel you restarting, you feel like you never have momentum, you never move forward. You always stay stuck in that same reorganization loop as we're talking today, and you never move forward. Or you begin to question your ability to follow through. Definitely something I hear a lot. I'm no good at this. I don't know what to do. I'm just not cut out for this. And we are. And the things that once felt natural start feeling harder. And we keep questioning ourselves again. Can I even do this? Am I cut out for this? And after a while, it starts to feel like something about you must be the problem, which it is not. Let me tell you that. It is you is not the problem. The problem is that you're eroding your self-trust. Think about and sit with this for a moment. Hey, it's Heike. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked around and thought, why do I feel so stuck when I've done everything I was supposed to? That's exactly why I wrote Pursue Your Spark. It's for those midlife moments where you feel like you've lost your momentum or yourself. Inside, I walk you through the 5 biggest traps that keep women stuck, like perfectionism, overwhelm, and the feeling of never being enough. And then I give you 6 simple worksheets to help you shift out of that stuck space and start taking bold, doable steps forward. This book is your midlife reset button. No fluff, no pressure, just the clarity, courage, and confidence you've been craving. The link is in the show notes. Grab your copy and let's move through this together. And we start asking ourselves questions like, why can't I stay consistent when you're missing workouts for a week and you know it worked so beautifully a few months ago, a year ago, and now you say, hey, I just can't stick to that schedule anymore. Or why does my routine keep falling apart? Skipping routines that once felt so automatic. You knew on Monday and Wednesday and Friday you did Pilates. The other days you did your cardio. And then you did your strength training on the weekends. And suddenly that routine is just not working. You don't feel motivated. You don't feel like you want to do it. It doesn't fit into your schedule, despite the fact that you reorganized everything. Or the other question I often hear is, why does it feel harder than it used to? It feels oftentimes like we are rebuilding habits again and again. And this does not encourage self-trust, but just the opposite. At some point, that focus quietly shifts. It moves from the system that we think we have in place to self-doubt. You start trusting your routines. You said, well, I've organized it and did everything, and it's just not working. And you don't know what exactly is not working. You stop trusting your follow-through that, all right, I've got that meal plan under control and I've organized it and it's still not working for what I need right now to make my life simpler. You start believing that discipline must be the issue. And ladies, it is never discipline. Because discipline comes and goes depending on the hour of the day, the way you feel, the way you slept. There's many things that are tied to discipline. So it's not the discipline. But after a while, it stops feeling like organizing and it starts feeling like starting over. And this is something I do not want for you. It can start to feel like you're constantly starting over in midlife, even though you've already built these habits before. And I know this can be so frustrating But it's true, things change. Based on everything I just talked about, your natural conclusion may be, I just need to try harder. I'm not trying hard enough. So we double down on our structure and we keep reorganizing. We tighten the routine even more. The problem isn't discipline. The problem is that the systems you're using may no longer match your life, because most organization systems were designed for a completely different season of life. And like I said, the real issue isn't discipline. So just scratch this for once and all. Earlier schedules were different. They fit to where you are before. You were maybe raising kids at that point. So your schedule revolved around the children and their needs. Your responsibilities were different. You may have different working hours now compared to what you did, and also responsibilities at work. Maybe you stepped up in your work and got more responsibility in your job. Your energy patterns were different. You have fewer competing priorities now, or even more, depending on where you are in life. And life changes in midlife. Our roles shift from being a parent to an empty nester to then we stuck in midlife with menopause, perimenopause, and then postmenopause as well. Our priorities shift and our energy shifts as well. But many of the systems we rely on just never change. We keep the same thing and hoping that it will work out, and we have to change a thing. And I see that often when women come to me and say, I have this workout routine, and I ask them how long they've been doing this routine, and they're like, for the past year. I'm just wondering, why is nothing changing? I don't see my muscles getting any bigger. I don't feel like more toned or stronger. And I'm like, you didn't change anything for a whole year. Your body has gotten used to, let's use weight training as an example, is that your body adapted to the load and the same exercise over and over. There's no challenge for the body and the muscle. You need to shake things up every 6-8 weeks when we talk in strength training to keep the body adapting to new challenges. And when you don't change your systems, nothing changes either. Based on what I just said, your roles shift, your priorities shift, your energy shifts. And when the systems don't evolve with life, that friction appears. That's when we want to keep reorganizing. And when you think about the friction is a routine that takes more effort. I'm like, oh my God, this is really too long of a workout. You may have done 45 minutes of strength training, and now after 20 minutes, you're like, I'm so done. You need to make a change to adapt it to where you are now. You're not losing momentum. You're actually gaining momentum without beating yourself up. Or your schedule, as you move up the ladder in your business, it feels more crowded and you have more responsibility because of where you are in life. And systems do collapse that previously work when life gets busy and the momentum in life gets busy. When there's a lot of things happening, you may have just decided to retire and you want to travel more. You need a different system. So you are not disorganized. You've simply outgrown the systems that once worked. Let that sink in. You've outgrown the systems that once work. Let's look at this episode through the Spark lens as a lens of when we use our Spark framework. When systems start matching your life again, something interesting does happen. So when I think of the Spark method, the Spark framework, strategic is focusing on organizing what actually supports momentum. So the first step in the Spark framework is focusing is strategic, focusing on organizing what actually supports momentum, not just for the purpose of, I just want to organize and hope that things work. The P is purposeful. Build a system around how you want to live now. A system how you want to live now, not how it was a month ago or 3 months ago or after the kids left the house. Now, be purposeful. Think about what it means to you. And A stands for authentic. Let your routines reflect the season of life. I no longer run marathons or do Ironman triathlons. I still work out, but I matched it to what the season of life I'm in. I want a kinder, gentler workout. Still seeing the results, but I needed to change things around, like you may need to change as well. And the R stands for resilient. Keep systems simple enough to survive real weeks. And what are real weeks? These are the weeks when we have, also resilience stands for roadblocks in my book, Pursue Your Spark. The real weeks are when things just not working out, when there's an obstacle or two and you have to shift things around. But it has to be simple enough for you to say, I got this. I can fit in that 20 minutes. I know it. I don't have to do the 45 minutes workout. But a real week, not the perfect week. And K stands for knowledgeable. Notice where friction shows up and adjust. It's simple, it's strategic. The Spark framework works for any time in your life. When systems align with your life, follow-through starts feeling easier again. This is where midlife habits can actually begin to stick and emerge to stick, not just because you added more rules, but because things are finally aligned with the life you're actually living. Instead of reorganizing everything again, there's a much simpler place to start. It's not a new routine. It's not a reset. It's just one small shift. Ask yourself one question. What part of my day consistently creates friction? Is it starting the workouts now? Figuring out the meal planning strategy? Getting started in the morning with your morning routine? Or the place where clutter always lands that really annoys you? The goal isn't fixing everything. It's noticing where things keep getting harder than they used to be. Remove one obstacle. Make the next step easier. For instance, placing workout clothes where you can see them that are clean, jump into them, and you're ready to go. Reducing the number of decisions. What meals do I want to eat that day? Meal plan if this is something that you are struggling with. Creating one consistent landing spot for daily items, which is moving things away from that spot or moving them exactly to the spot so you can put them away later. Move things closer to where they used to be. So bringing them towards you and your goals, and by simplifying the process. Simplify what's going on around the workout, the meal plan, the cleaning up the clutter like we talked about this before. Momentum doesn't return when you reorganize everything. It returns when you remove one point of friction. And often that one small adjustment is enough to get momentum moving again. Organization isn't really about drawers, labels, or planners. It's about creating an environment where the life you want to live becomes easier to follow through on. So instead of reorganizing everything again, start with one simple question. Where in your day does friction keep showing up? Remove one obstacle, because momentum doesn't return when you reorganize everything. It returns when you remove one point of friction. And when your environment starts supporting you, momentum stops feeling like something you have to chase. If you need help with your momentum, send me an email at heike@heikeyates.com and let me know how I can support you. I read every email. Next time, we're talking about something that might feel a little uncomfortably familiar. If you've spent most of your life trying to be the good one, the agreeable one, the resilient one, you might have been living by a set of good girl rules without even realizing it. And in midlife, those rules often stop working as well, because sometimes the rules that once helped you survive are the ones that keep you stuck. We explore what begins to change when you finally start questioning them. I'll see you in the next episode.